After years of supporting Saudi Arabia's ruthless military campaign in Yemen, there's now hope that the Biden administration will remove the U.S. from the mix. RT's Alex Mihailovich has that story.
It is a conflict that President Joe Biden has promised to get the U.S. out of. And a situation that many say was made worse by the Trump administration as the former president exited the White House.
I am extremely concerned about the impact of the decision from the United States to designate Ansar Allah as a foreign terrorist organization.
Adding to the military support that the U.S. has given Saudi Arabia in Yemen, less than 2 weeks ago, Donald Trump's government designated Yemen's Houthi rebels a terrorist group, a move that has caused protests in Yemen and that President Biden's nominee for Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, disagrees with.
It seems to achieve nothing particularly practical in advancing the efforts against the Houthis and to bring them back to the negotiating table.
While many choose to call the conflict in Yemen a proxy war between Saudi Arabia, which wants to restore a Saudi-sympathetic government, and Iran, which supports the Houthis, the situation is far more complex. The conflict is rooted in an unsuccessful post-Arab Spring political transition that went bad in 2011. By 2014, the country was in a downward spiral of sectarian violence, jihadist attacks, and a separatist movement, fueled by government corruption, high unemployment, and food scarcity. Believing that the Houthis, a Shia Muslim population, were backed by Iran, Saudi Arabia and friends entered the arena. To this day, the Saudis are leading a coalition against the Houthis. Coalition countries have included the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Sudan, and Egypt, while the U.S., France, and the U.K. have helped with logistics and arms. The group is responsible for all air attacks in Yemen since it joined the battle more than 5 years ago.
The Saudi-led campaign in Yemen to push back against the Houthi aggression has contributed to what is, by most accounts, the worst humanitarian situation that we face anywhere in the world.
Yemen is the poorest country in the Middle East. Along with the conflict and disease, 10 million people are said to be going hungry in Yemen. Currently, about 80% of the population of Yemen live in areas controlled by the Houthis. According to Antony Blinken, designating the Houthi movement a terrorist group may impede the distribution of humanitarian assistance, which is desperately needed by millions in Yemen. As for the U.S. military backing of Saudi Arabia, American lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have voiced opposition to Washington's logistical support and arms sales to the Saudis. And while on the campaign trail, Joe Biden joined the call. This past October, he released this statement in which he says, "Under a Biden-Harris administration, we will reassess our relationship with the kingdom, end U.S. support for Saudi Arabia's war in Yemen, and make sure America does not check its values at the door to sell arms or buy oil." Now, many believe that it's time to put words into action and move towards ending America's participation in the war in Yemen. For RT,